Good to see everybody. How you doing? How you doing? Shouting everybody out. Lawrence Perry III. Good to see you, sir. Fellow King. Oh, you're there with Dad, huh? Tell Mr. Perry I said hello. Hope all is well with the both of you guys. Love y'all, man. Tell Mr. Perry, man, I gotta come over there and watch a Redskins game with him so I can hear him yell at the TV. Good morning, everybody. Also want to shout out Lawrence III, man. Y'all, he has a wonderful men's group here on Facebook as well called Friday for Fathers. So y'all go check him out over on Facebook as well. Wonderful men's group. They get together on Fridays as well, and they have different topics of discussion, and sometimes they have open mic. And wonderful brother, man. He's been doing this for a while. I respect that brother greatly, and the work that he's doing for our fellow kings out here as well. He said, let's do it. Okay, cool. Cool. Also want to shout out brother Larry Jackson, who is the wonderful owner of this fine establishment that I have been employed at for almost 4 years now. Here at the wonderful Why Not Fashion, Why Not Boutique here in Arundel Mills. They also have another location over in Greenbelt. So as always, I want to shout him out, shout out the brand. Fellas, come on in and get right for the weekend. We have a lot of great sales going on today. We always have great sales going on every day, but especially today. So fellas, ladies, bring your fellas in. Get suited for the weekend. Get the suit, get the whole thing. Get the suit, get the tie, get the shirt, get the cufflinks, get the whole works. Good morning. Thank y'all for sharing. Please feel free to donate to our Cash App as well, which is $Regal Kings. $5, $5,000, it doesn't matter. We appreciate everyone's support. So we're going to go ahead and get on into it today. This is part 2 of Red Flags. Before we get into it, I just want to briefly kind of showcase what I got on. A wonderful, nice green double-breasted suit with the gold buttons. We do have this suit in the store. We also have it in other colors. We have green, we have black, we have purple. It's a really nice deep purple. We have gray, we have brown, we have salmon. I think we even have mustard, if y'all want to be so daring. Want to shout out my wife. Hi, sweetie. Thank you so very much for your support, as always, as well. We're going to get it done today, y'all. I look good. I feel good because God is good. So this is part 2 of Red Flags. And we're just going to go ahead and get back into it. Last week we covered what red flags are in terms of domestic abuse. Since this is a part of the month of October, is a part of Domestic Abuse Awareness Month as well. And so we wanted to highlight, especially from the men's point of view. So if you get a chance, go back on my page and look at last week's video. It'll kind of catch you up. But we wanted to look at it from the men's point of view. As I said, as a blanket statement, abuse on any level is wrong. Doesn't matter if it's the woman doing it. It doesn't matter if it's the man doing it. It's wrong, period. And so, but the thing is that amongst men, it's a silent killer because a lot of men don't talk about it. A lot of men don't acknowledge it. A lot of men have been and have fallen victim to being victims of domestic abuse. And as I said last week, we covered a few different kinds. I want to cover the rest of the kinds today. Like I said, it's about 10 of them in total. And I think we covered about maybe 4 or 5 of them last week. But it can happen to anyone. But we're talking more specifically about the gentlemen today, because gentlemen, as our natures, we're very ego-driven. And so we're not as emotional as most women are. And so when these kinds of traumas or these kinds of things happen to us, we're not very vocal in voicing it. but that needs to change. Nobody's saying that you got to go run out here and tell everybody, but in terms of telling a trusted, uh, getting into some kind of counseling or therapy to talk to someone who is qualified to help you through it. Many men are victims of domestic abuse by their spouses, by their significant others, by family members. Whoever does it to you, it's not right. All right, so last week's we covered, of course, the obvious of the physical abuse. We covered physical abuse. We've covered the emotional abuse. We've covered when parents use children as pawns for abuse. We've covered sexual abuse. The one thing that I did not touch on last week in terms of the sexual abuse, in terms of the men being victims, was when women use sex as weapons of control. But I also didn't cover that there have been times and that there are times, it may not be as often, but it happens. There are times, ladies and gentlemen, when women do actually physically, sexually assault men. We've seen it even in movies. Even though they were movies, that stuff really happens. Well, somebody might put something in someone's drink or food, and then all of a sudden you're in a bed and you don't know what's going on, and you can't. There's certain things about your body that you can't control at the time, and that gets taken advantage of at that moment. That has happened. Men have woken up realizing that they have been literally raped by a woman. Um, we saw it in the movie. What was that? Way back in the day, with Ice T and Denzel, Ricochet. They drugged him up and brought a prostitute in there. They tried to set him up. They drugged him up, tied him up on the bed, but made it look like he was a willing participant, but he wasn't. He was tied up, he was restrained, and he was completely drugged up. And they brought in a prostitute to sleep with him. That was rape. You know, he didn't want it. He couldn't fight her off, but that's what happened. Another instance was this one wasn't so graphic, but it was in the movie Obsessed with Beyonce. Idris Alba, who played her husband, with that crazy girl. He was at a retreat, and she somehow gained access to his hotel room. She slipped something in his drink that made him woozy, and she sexually assaulted him. He could not control what was going on and what happened. So that does happen. It does happen, and it does happen to men. It does happen to men. There's other movies where that's portrayed, but those are the only two that I can think of right now, where you see men being victims of sexual abuse from women, from the weaker vessels, the ones who are not as big and not as strong, but they've used different things to disable them. So moving on from that, so I wanted to touch on that because I didn't touch on that last week. That does happen. Uh, the ones that we have not covered yet are religious. Religion, the use of religion uh, for domestic abuse. And so men have been guilty of this, women have been guilty of this, where they use religion or they try to use religion as a means of power and control. That's all what I've learned is that's all that domestic abuse is. It's the use of whatever you're trying to use to gain power and control over someone else. Religious is another one that we had not covered. The one we other one we didn't cover is verbal abuse. Verbal. You can abuse someone with your mouth. The Bible says that life and death lie in what we say. And so you can literally break someone down. Ladies, like I said, this is about the gentlemen. I'm not saying that this doesn't happen to ladies, but this is about the gentlemen. Ladies, y'all have the ability to literally give us life or give us death by what you say. Let me also speak to my married ladies who may be watching. What you tell your husband and what you don't tell your husband can make all the difference in the world in who he is. I am so blessed to have a partner and to have a spouse who speaks life into me. You know, she speaks life into me. She makes me feel like I am the man. She literally makes me feel like I am the king of the castle because I am. But she affirms that. She even though she has a strong personality, she allows me to lead and take the lead. So, ladies, verbal abuse is probably one of the most used forms of domestic abuse that women use with men. Verbal abuse. The other one that is another one is gender privilege. I got to hurry up. Gender privilege, and that goes on both sides. But yes, women have been able to use certain gender privileges to use against men for their advantage. Uh, Another one, psychological abuse. Psychological abuse. Uh, Publicly embarrassing him, publicly demeaning him. That's psychological. Threatening loved ones, using passive aggressive manipulation, attitudes, and mixing moods. That's all a part of psychological abuse. And so I'm going to run down the list. And so these are all red flags to look for. I'm going to run down the list one last time. We have physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, social isolation, financial, children, sexual, religion, verbal, and gender privilege. Those are 10. Those are the 10 types of domestic abuse. And so, gentlemen, if you have fallen victim to any of these, and even ladies, if you have fallen victim to any of these, get help and get out. You do not have to stay in it. You do not have to remain in it. Empower yourself, save your children if you have children, and get the help you need. That is not a healthy place to be, not even for yourself, but especially if you have children. Get out. Red flags, all right? So I'm getting ready to wrap up because I can't be on very long. We're getting ready to open the store up in a couple minutes. Come on in and see me. I hope that this has helped someone. I want to please encourage you all to please share, please share, please share, please share. Please feel free to bless us on our Cash App again at dollar sign Regal Kings, dollar sign Regal Kings. But please, ladies, please, gentlemen, share this information. A lot of this information is not new. I didn't make any of, I didn't create any of this information, but I want to bring awareness. I want to hopefully use the platform that I have to bring awareness to certain things. So, gentlemen, I always got your back. I always got your back. Ladies, I need y'all to have our backs as well. Gentlemen, but that also means that we are called to a different level of responsibility. So, all right, so if our ladies have our back, y'all can't be out here reckless and wilding. But that's going to be another discussion for another Fellas Friday. So please, y'all, feel free to bless us at dollar sign Regal Kings. No amount is too small or too great. We certainly do appreciate. I want to also shout out before I get off the fellas of the King's Court, Damon Mace, Alex Brown, Terrence Cunningham, James Plummer, and Thomas Morris, brothers of the King's Court. We're coming to you all very soon with cigars and conversations. I'm excited. We got our photo shoot coming up in a couple weeks. So we're going to be sharing some wonderful images. These guys are definitely going to be dressed to impress, and we're going to show the world how real grown man can get some things done in the fashion side as well. Some real grown man swag stuff. All right. So thank you all so very, very much. I love you all. Bless you all. And you all have a wonderful day. Come in and see me today here at Arundel Mills, and I'll get you suited up for the weekend. All right. Thank y'all so very much. Bless y'all. Have a good day.